Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The joint Omani-Korean committee in Muscat discusses the benefit from solar energy and the possibility of constructing railways by Korean companies. The total number of road accidents in the Sultanate decreases from January to June by 32% compared to the same period last year. And 6 Palestinians are killed in Israeli airstrikes while Netanyahu promises to continue the attacks on Gaza. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in details. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cabal of thanks from the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in reply to His Majesty's condolences cabal on the death of Princess Jawahir bint Nasser bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud. His Majesty the Sultan has sent a cabal of greetings to His Excellency President José Mojica of Uruguay on his country's independence anniversary. Benefiting from solar energy, the possibility of constructing railways by Korean companies were the highlighted topics reviewed at the coordination meeting in its 4th round of joint Omani-Korean committee in Muscat today. It was chaired by His Excellency Dr. Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Hinai, advisor at the Ministry of Finance, chairman of Omani side at the Omani-Korean committee. The meeting also discussed the growth of Omani exports to Korea, which reached around 15 million Omani rials in 2012. The relationship between the 2 countries is continued to grow at the sectors of energy, airports management, air cargo, information technology and communications. The Oman-Korean Economic Forum was held on the sideline of the 4th round of Omani-Korean Joint Committee. It stressed the depth and the expansion of relations which joined the Sultanate and South Korea due to the directions of governments of both friendly countries. It also focused on finding new partnerships and benefiting from Korean expertise in supporting small and medium-sized enterprises and exchange of expertise on a number of economic and service sectors. In order to apply a unified system for the preparation of meeting reports of municipal councils in the governorates, the Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources organized a training program on preparing meeting minutes of municipal councils. It targets representatives of Secretariat General of Municipal Council. The 5-day training program discusses a number of topics such as meeting minutes, writing and administrative writing techniques. The participants also will get acquainted with the municipal work experience in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Statistics issued by the National Statistics and Information Center pointed out a decline in the total number of road accidents registered in the Sultanate during the period from the 1st of January to the end of June by 32.8%. The figures showed that 2,909 accidents took place compared to 4,332 accidents during the same period last year. The total casualties recorded by the end of June also decreased by 49.5%, reaching 2,832 compared to 5,610 registered in the corresponding period last year. The statistics also showed that death cases resulted from these accidents witnessed a decline by 10.2% during the aforementioned period in the current year, as to reach 404 death cases compared to 450 registered at the same period in 2013. The statistics also pointed out that registered death cases among Omanis decreased by 17.5% compared to the same period last year, while registered death cases among expatriates rose by 2.4%. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. The second phase of constructing Wadi Mistel Road in the Wilaya of Nakhal is started for about 12 kilometers.
من هنا تبدأ أسطر الحكاية. تقاليدها راسخة كالجبال. وصلتها مضرب مثل في كل مكان. بساطتها ليس لها مثيل، لا حدود لكرمها. حاضرها مشرق متجدد. مهرجان صلالة السياحي 2014 من 30 من يوليو إلى 6 من سبتمبر.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. 6 Palestinians were killed in Israeli airstrikes today and dozens more wounded as Israeli bombardment on the Gaza Strip continued for the 40th day. 3 Palestinians were killed and dozens others were injured around noon. An Israeli airstrike killed a teenage boy and a baby girl and injured 5 others in Gaza City. An Israeli airstrike on a car in the vicinity of the Palestine Stadium in central Gaza meanwhile left the driver dead and a number of bystanders were injured. Shortly before that, rescue teams recovered a dead body of a man from the rubble of Telini family home in Deir al-Balah in the central Gaza Strip. The airstrikes early today on Gaza brought the total death total in Israel's massive assault to 2,110, with more than 10,500 injured. As the United Nations said that more than 460,000 Palestinians were still displaced and living in shelters across the densely packed coastal enclave. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today warned Gaza residents to leave any site where Palestinian activists were operating, saying the locations could be attacked. Saying the location could be attacked. Every one of these places is targeted, he said in broadcast remarks, a day after an Israeli airstrike flattened a Gaza apartment tower, saying the tower had housed a Hamas command center. Meanwhile, Hamas declared that Israeli threats to launch a ground war against Gaza Strip do not intimidate the Palestinian resistance. At least 18 people were killed and 120 others wounded as a wave of bomb blasts ripped through Kirkuk city, North Iraq. 2 explosive-laden vehicles went off on the northern outskirts of the city, while a suicide bomber blew up his explosive belt. Among the victims are members of the Kurdistan military forces known as Peshmerga. Meanwhile, a car bombing injured 4 people in Erbil and another car bomb wounded 4 others to the south of the city. Muscat Securities Market MSM General Index today lost 1.21 point, comprising a decline by 0.02% to close at 7,357 points. The trading value today stood at 3.2 billion Omani Riyals, comprising a decline by 54% compared to the last session. The report released by MSM pointed out that the market value fell by 0.02% to reach about 15.4 billion Omani Riyals. The report added that the value of shares bought by non-Omani investors reached 679,000 Omani Riyals, comprising 20.8%. The value of shares sold by non-Omani investors reached 944,000 Riyals, comprising 28.9%. The net non-Omani investments declined by 8% to 264,000 Omani Riyals. The second phase of constructing Wadi Mistel Road in the Wilaya of Nakhal has started for about 12 kilometers. The project aims to improve the local infrastructure of the Wadi, and it is expected to enhance the tourism sector and the villages, which is one of the most interesting spots for the visitors of Nakhal. Saif Al-Kindi visited the Wadi and came out with this report.
The way to Wadi Mistel was very tough for residents and visitors before the new project has been started, currently in its second phase that will reach the main villages of the Wadi, moving straight to the modern building of the new basic school. 12 kilometers is the total distance of the second phase that will be concluded within the coming 2 months after inaugurating the first phase from the downtown of Nakhal for about 11 kilometers towards the Wadi. Just a few years before opening the first phase, locals and visitors found it an obstacle to cross the huge wadi, which blocked the entire road in rainy seasons. The new flyover makes it easier for them to move smoothly through the other bank of the wadi.
Thanks to Allah, this road will develop our village and it will make it easier for us to travel to our village during rainy seasons. We are able now to sell our crops in the local market.
The work is moving rapidly with these heavy machines working in the site, trying to cope with the given time to conclude the project. The new project will make it easier for tourist groups to reach the highlights of the wadi, to enjoy many attractive touristic sites, admiring its lovely moderate climate in summer and the fascinating seasonal crops from June to August. While building such a new road adds to the infrastructure of the attractive villages, it will consequently develop the extra services for the tourism sector. Saif Al-Kindi for English News, Nakhal.
And you're watching the Sultanate of Oman television. And before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The joint Omani-Korean committee in Muscat discusses to benefit from solar energy and the possibility of constructing railways by Korean companies. The total number of road accidents in the Sultanate decreases from January to June by 32% compared to the same period last year. And 6 Palestinians are killed in Israeli airstrikes, while Netanyahu promises to continue the attacks on Gaza. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.